Hello, you lovely lot. It has been way too long since I did a YouTube video. I apologise profusely for my absolute lack of anything. It's been a crazy few weeks, to be honest, and I have so much to update you on. So I thought I would just do a little bit of a recap video. I am filming some vlogs this week, but I want you guys to be up to date with everything. So yeah, let's do a quick catch up. I am going to also show you what's happened at the last couple of events. So what was the last event you guys will have seen? Bishop? Oh my God, no, Frickley was after Bishop, yeah. So Frickley was actually the last event you guys will have seen. Sorry, this is a new cap and I have to squish them. So yeah, Frickley was the last one you guys will have seen, which as you'll have seen, did not go particularly well. And after Frickley, I genuinely had a little bit of a confidence knock, not in terms of like the previous confidence knocks I've had where you're, scared to go on your horse or scared to jump or anything. I just felt like I put so much into Frickley and then it went so terribly wrong. And I just felt like I wasn't good enough because I'd given it my all and it hadn't happened. Now, upon reflection, I was possibly being very dramatic, but our minds do things. And I am now back with my performance mindset coach, Sian Phipps, who's incredible. I'll link her down below, and we've kind of dealt with that and are working our way through a lot of things. And what really didn't help is after Frickley, I ran two events, West Wilts. So I ran Epworth and West Wilts. I ran Epworth and we'd not had a very good run up to Epworth. Of just sort of me feeling a little bit stuck, and then Epworth actually went really well initially. So Jen did a really nice dressage test, which I'm going to show you now.
So it was far from perfect, I will admit that. Jen was a little bit head bobby because she does get a little bit like that when she comes back off my leg and she's a little bit nervous in the dressage test. But all in all, for Ginny, this is a huge improvement in her going. And bearing in mind, we've had high 30s, we've had 40 scores previously, and I know what that test looks like. Like, I know how badly they go to get that sort of score. But I was actually really pleased with her today, and as the test went on, she just calmed down throughout it. She kept a much better frame. She was having a little look at things, but she did a pretty accurate test and we didn't go wrong. We didn't really have any issues. She obviously lacked a little bit of balance here and there, but dressage is still very new to her. So overall, I came out of the test really impressed with her because it was the first time she'd really done a pretty calm test for me.
So yeah, I was really pleased with the test, and then we just got a really terrible score for it, which I was really upset about, just because Jin had felt so much better in that test, and sadly the judge didn't see that. Sam and Earl were also there with me that day, and they got the exact same score. And they felt like two very different tests. Like, we both deserved better scores, but also to have been judged the same on two very different tests was also a bit strange. My friend though went in and got a 45, and that was definitely not deserved. So definitely a very harsh judge for our section, but also just not what you need to start the day off. So then into shoe jumping. And I genuinely nearly retired at shoe jumping in the warm-up because Jin was wild.
So we didn't really capture it on camera. She started off fine and she just got hotter and hotter and more bouncy, to the point that instead of going forward, she would then just put herself in circles. And yeah, just very excited. And I decided, just try and get her in the round and just see if you can get around these jumps. So the key when Jin is being a little bit fruity is just send her forward. Send her forward and hope for the best. Point her at the fence and just ride. So she actually came in and instantly calmed down from what she was from the bouncy ball. We were actually moving forward. I will say I always do not enjoy my show jumping at Epworth. I just think they build the fences on a really twisty turny course, and it feels like every fence is behind you. Jin was doing very well. I did have to have a little word with her and say, oi, listen, sit up and wait, because she was just running a little bit too much for my liking, which is why we had a little word before the double. And then I absolutely messed up the corner into this. Like, I just thought, no, we can't do it from that angle. Go and get some energy off her. Go do a big circle and come back to it, because I know I never get time penalties because she's so quick. So it is sadly our first penalty for faults for having to circle at BE for show jumping. But I also needed her to have a bit of an educational round today, and remember that she can't just drag me around a show jumping course. And then into the final double, which she did. So she jumped everything clear, but she was just a little bit wild.
So of course, luckily she had calmed down for the actual show jumping round, but Jin had also got into a little bit of a habit of running through her right shoulder when we'd been practicing up to then. And it's something that she can do. She has previously done this in an avoidance thing, and she's just a bit chestnut mare sometimes. Like, she likes an opinion and she likes to tell you that she thinks she can do it better, which most of the time she can. But yeah, so I'd actually come into fence A expecting her, because of the tight turn, to go out the right shoulder, and she didn't. So I put her on a really tight line to the oxer, which had it been an upright, I'd have kept going. But I was like, no, it was quite a big oxer. I thought, you know what, come back round, reapproach. So it was our first penalty in show jumping at BE this season, which is a shame. She's still, touch wood, not had a pole the entire season at BE, but we did have to circle that. But we ended the course and I was really, really pleased with her. Very, very excited for cross country. Now, because she had been so wild in the show jumping warm up, I then did let her go cross country, and I said to Mum, I'm just going to have to kind of forget about the time and just let her have a run. The ground was really good. We were on sand at Epworth and we'd had a lot of rain up to then. So I just let her go. I did have to hold her for parts, but I did just let her go. And then this is what happened on the cross country.
Again, a call please, Over they go, to the right, solid block, first down.
So obviously it was going really well, and then fence 12, I still do not know what happened. I clearly did not ride my line very well, and she just went out the side door. I think I just got a bit complacent that I was actually thinking about the combination that was coming up, not actually the fence in front of me, and just kind of assumed Jin would jump it, which is, you know, I need to not get complacent, because that was one of the easiest fences on the course that I clearly just didn't ride because I was like, it's easy. So I have to admit, I absolutely beat myself up for that mistake, because at this point I really had got into my head about finishing the season at Bicton 3-day event, which I will talk to you guys a little bit more about in an upcoming video and at the end of this video. But yeah, so I basically needed one more MER point to qualify for Bicton, because you have to have 3, and so I've got 2 already from the season, and I need one more. So I was really upset with myself, because basically having not gone clear cross country meant I did not get my MER. And it was just such a silly mistake. Like, had she had a run out at a combination or at something difficult, I'd have been like, yeah, fair enough, but it wasn't. And this was then just adding to that, okay, I'm just making stupid mistakes, I'm not good enough mindset that I was already in. So then we thought, right, I want to run again before Ginny goes to stay with Nikki for a few weeks. So as you guys know, Nikki Hill was sold Ginny as a sales livery to me, and so she'd had her a few weeks, she knows her really well, and me and Nikki get on really well, we're really good friends, and she's just an amazing trainer, and I've got a really busy September, so I decided that Jen would go to Nikki for a few weeks, but also while she was there, I thought, well, for the first couple of days she's there, she can have a bit of a chill and things, and then we'll take her to West Wilts, because it's not too far from Nikki's, whereas from me it's like 4 hours away, whereas from Nikki it's like an hour and a half. So I put her in for West Wilts. I've seen West Wilts online, and it always looked pretty small, so I was like, do you know what, it might be a nice little confidence building course for us. And must admit, when I walked that 90, it felt tiny, so I wasn't really worried about anything. And I genuinely think when I think that things are easier, I just don't ride them as well. Like, every single double clear I've had this season have been at courses that I've thought are beefy and big and long and technical, and I just ride better because I know I have to. So anyway, got to West Wilts, and Jin did a mega dressage. I was so pleased with her. I did not. So this is what happened.
So I did my medium trial all the way to the arena. I had her engaged, I had her ready. Was I ready? Apparently not, because all I kept thinking as I came down the centre line was, oh no, I've got to do a serpentine. And came down and started my serpentine at C, when I was meant to start it at A, and realised as I got to this point and thought, wasn't meant to do that. Back on yourself you go, Georgia. Let's redo that one, shall we? Oh, I was so annoyed with myself, honestly. And Ginny was just going so lovely as well, and I was like, oh no. But luckily, you know, you only get a couple of points deducted for having gone wrong, I did hear the bell because I have missed the bell previously, and we continued, and actually it didn't ruin our serpentine at all. I was really, really pleased with this test. I thought she did a really nice test, and I was incredibly happy with the score. She just seems to be going from strength to strength in her dressage at the moment, and that's definitely something I'm taking away from, because I've worked so flipping hard on our dressage. Even having spoken to previous riders who have evented her when she was younger, because she did do one season as a 6-year-old, they all said, Gin always does her own dressage test. It's something that has been deep ingrained into her for a long time, is that she doesn't like dressage and she tries to not comply on the day. But actually we're getting through that, and just to see her relaxing and also enjoying it just means the absolute world to me. So yeah, she did a really nice test. She did die a little bit in this corner as soon as she realised she had to go back down. She was like, oh, am I not done yet? But luckily we were into the walk stage then. This is the test that I'm also I've done it a couple of events now, and it's quite a nice test, but it's quite fast paced, and I do think that works in Gin's favour. Obviously this section's not fast paced, it's the free walking along grain, but you do have to pick them up and go into trot before here, and she always gets really good marks for this. And there were so many arenas and so much going off at West Wilts, hence the various horses that keep coming into frame. So the fact that she worked so beautifully in such a busy environment just made me very, very proud of her. So I will shut up and let you enjoy the rest of this little bit of dressage.
So yes, I came down the centre line and started my serpentine when I was meant to get up to A and start my serpentine. So I did get belled and I did drop a few marks for that, but otherwise I was so pleased with her. She did die a little bit when we were going past A, and she was like, oh, still got to keep going. So I did have to get after her a little bit. But it was a really good and very calm dressage test, which is all we want at the moment. I'm not expecting perfection, but calmness is what we need. And going into the show jumping, we managed to keep the calmness. She was a little bit bouncy in the warm-up, which I think is just a Gin thing. So I must admit, there was a couple of dodgy lines in there, but I was so pleased with that show jumping round. I felt like we were much calmer and let the fences come to us a lot more, like I actually held for a fence rather than rushing us round. So I was absolutely elated with the show jumping to have gone clear. And yeah, it just felt like a really nice show jumping round and set us up really well for cross country. One thing that did not set us up very well for cross country was the fact that I had left my breastplate at Nikki's. Honestly, when you've gone through everything in your head that many times, like I've packed this, I've packed that, and then you're like, there's something that I've missed. Oh yes, the breastplate. So I actually had to borrow someone's breastplate and it didn't really fit, and I had to tie it up so that it fit a little bit better. But Gin went into the warm-up and she was amazing in the warm-up. Sadly, I do not have the cross-country video to show you, so I'm just going to talk you through it. But yeah, she went into the warm-up. Felt really good. They were running on time. Like, they weren't doing first come, first serve, which is what has happened to every other BE I've ran. So yeah, very odd that they were actually running to your time slot for me. It's never happened. Normally you hear over the channel, like, go get yourself around cross country because they want to get through it. So yeah, I did have to wait ages to go come out the start box, and Jen was fine. Like, she's actually very chill in a cross country warm up these days. But yeah, I wasn't as chill. I was fine, but I was just like, can we get on with this, please? So then, yeah, came out of the start box and she felt great, and then she absolutely ballooned over the first fence. It's quite a big black roll top. A little bit lucky, but like, she absolutely ballooned over it, and I don't know whether the ballooning over caused her to pull something or to just unsettle her. But after that, she then, as soon as she landed, was running out of the right shoulder. Now, this is a tendency with Jin to go right through the right shoulder. She is weak of right hind because she had that hip realigned, and it needed realigning before I bought her. So we don't know how long the hip had been like not quite in line. So when we realigned it, it's taken her quite a long time to rebuild that muscle, and that is just her weaker hind. So because she tries to put herself on the other opposite diagonal, so she uses her left hind and her front right. So we know that that's a weakness for her. We know it's something that we're building up and working on. But she's never ran through the shoulder quite as much as she did. And the second fence was a skinny with two like Christmas trees either side and just some nice poles. And normally that is not something she would ever have an issue with. And she came into it and almost ran past it because she was just going right. And I was like, it's got her over that. And then fence 3, we wibbled and wobbled and just did not give me the feeling that Jin normally gives me. I literally had to I felt like I was dragging her to the fence. And she cantered on after it, and then we got to the water and she spooked the water. That horse loves water. Like, I have to stop her galloping into water. She spooked into the water, went in, and then luckily the fence out was like the teeny tiniest log. All the fences up to now were absolutely like, I felt like I was riding a 70, not a 90. I don't know whether that's just because I've done a lot bigger courses this year or whether I'm just used to this height now, but they felt tiny. And then we came into fence 5, and I hate a drop. As you guys may know from the start of the season, from my first ever event, I seriously clonked my back and actually pulled my SI, which was really severe, at my very first event over a drop. I then repeated it at Osby, and yeah, basically was out of action for almost 2 months properly. And I'm very, very nervous of jumping drops because I don't want to injure myself. I'm not nervous of actually jumping them, I just don't want to clonk my back. So there was a log on top. So the hill was here and the log was literally on the very top. So as you jumped off the side of the hill. And something I've never actually done in training. So I've done drop fences where you like get to it and drop off, but I've never had a jump on a drop. So also wasn't 100% sure on how I was riding it. I should have just broken it down as it's a drop and we've got a jump. So it's nothing I haven't done before, but in my mind, I'd never done this type of fence before. And when I was walking the course, Sam and a lot of other people said, just come into it really quietly, and so that they don't like come in and like explode over the fence, which actually I should have just listened to myself and not other people, because I know my horse and I know I don't like drops. And if I'm ever unsure of something, Jane goes, okay, Mum, I'll wait. And we got to the top of the hill and she was like, I'm waiting for you to tell me to jump this. And I just sat there. And so we just kind of stopped and looked at it. And I was like, And I almost expected to come up the hill and her to go, woohoo, and like pop it. But she actually was listening to me so well that she wasn't running through me. And she was like, okay, you don't want to do it? We'll not do it. And I circled back round and then she started going out of the right shoulder again. And I just put my hand up and I thought that A, you told me from the start that this isn't quite right. And B, now I didn't really want to do the jump, but also it was just a combination of everything, really. Jin not pulling me through is not normally like her. Her going through the right shoulder, not normally like her. Like, she felt sound, she just felt like she was like going to this side a bit. So anyway, I put my hand up and retired and came home, which I actually didn't realise as well that we were sat in 7th, which is such a shame because it would have really been lovely. She'd have probably, like, she should have gone clear around that course had we not had a few issues. So anyway, we came home and the first thing I did was arrange for Nikki's physio / chiro to come and see her on the Monday. So we ran on the Saturday. She had a day of rest, and then the physio came to her on the Monday and found that she'd locked her shoulder. So the reason she was running through it is because it was basically like the start of her neck over to her shoulder was quite tight, so she couldn't like come off it. So it's almost like, do you ever get that when your leg kind of like feels like it's stuck in the socket type of thing? It's a little bit like that. So she we had to release that, and she also had a little bit of soreness behind that as well. So that was the reason that she didn't feel quite right. And I chatted to Nikki about it, and she was like, you know, you did 100% the right thing. You listened to your horse. She's like, yeah, you've got to do a couple of fences to see how that feels. It wasn't severe, because I was like, did I stop because I didn't want to jump fence 5, or did I stop because I was listening to my horse? And Nick was like, you knew that this wasn't right. You knew she didn't feel right. So yeah, I kind of beat myself up for retiring, but I think if you've ever got any concerns, and I will always do this, I don't care about my record, I don't care about what things look like online. If I think that me or the horse aren't right, more the horse than me, like I did run, it was be on one leg. But if I don't think the horse is right in any way, I will pull up. I will check my horse, because horse before sport every single time. So yeah, she is now sorted. So we had 2 very good runs in some respects, and then very disappointing runs in other respects. Obviously did not get my MER again. So I now have one final shot to get my MER before Bicton closes the ballot. And basically I have actually entered Bicton, because you can enter with qualification pending, because I only need 1 MER point to actually get in. So I really, really would love to end the season on my first 3-day event. I have never done one. I don't actually think Jin's ever done a 3-day event either. I need to check her record again. I just think it'd be really good. It is absolutely miles away from me. It's literally the other side of the country. But I know Bicton. I've been there, I've done a lot of filming there, and I absolutely love it. So I think it'll be really fun. Nikki's determined I'm going. So this weekend we are running at Kelsall Hill, and since all of this has happened, Ginny spent 3 weeks at Nikki's, I've spent a week at Nikki's training as well. I've had my mindset coach. We have done so much work on accuracy, on lines, on basically Ginny is now 100% herself. She's feeling so great. We actually have the saddle fitter here today just to make a few tweaks, because we're not 100% happy with the saddle at the moment, which kind of contributed to the issues as well. And yeah, we've like everything has now come together, and hopefully Kelsall will be where we get our MER. If we do not get our MER at Kelsall, it's not the end of the world. I won't run Bicton, but I have entered something else, which I'm not telling you about yet. But yeah, so I'm really excited. I just feel like training's going so well, and it's a really difficult one, because I think for anyone who looks in on our journey from definitely our record point of view, or just sees the sort of flamboyant titles that us YouTubers give you, so that you watch videos, it looks like we've not had the best season, but actually we've had a really strong season. And I think your first season of getting to know each other is always really difficult anyway. But yeah, we've had a great time the last couple of weeks getting ourselves together. I feel so much more confident in my own ability. Nikki has really, really tested me, especially with some very tricky lines in the arena of like mimicking cross-country lines. She's had me jumping intermediate lines, and hopefully now my 90 should feel super easy after doing those. But I also need to be really switched on, which is where my mindset coaches come in, because I have a tendency to kind of switch off sometimes at competitions. So we've been really working on that. And yeah, so the next eventing vlog you will see is Kelsall. So fingers crossed that goes well, we shall see. But yeah, thank you guys so much for your patience. I'm so sorry that it's taken me so long to get this video out. But I just kind of wanted to do a summary of what's been happening. And yeah, I'm absolutely loving getting to know Jin and the journey we're on. And that mare is so flipping talented that, and also watching Nikki on her, like, it's given me this drive to be such a better rider for my amazing horse, so that we can go up levels and we can do all these incredible things. So yeah, that's the update, and I will also be putting out some farm vlogs soon, which I know you guys love, so make sure if you're not already to be subscribed, and I will see you soon for another one. Bye guys!